Hello everyone, and welcome to Slay the Spire 2. We are playing a Necrobinder today on Ascension 1, and this time I went for, or I tried to go for an infinite deck, or infinite run, but it didn't exactly work out in the end. However, we did, you know, get a very good value from the Hang card, so it was an interesting run either way. So we started off, and this is what kind of pushed me towards the infinite deck. Is that we got the Capture the Spirit, which is an amazing card, specifically for infinite decks. Makes it very easy to just generate a lot of card draw, and with borrowed time and a couple of exhausts or just card removals, you can basically just have a bunch of souls in your deck and capture spirit and draw into it every time after the borrowed time. So your turn never ends, and you, even without any other sources of damage, you win just by dealing 3 HP every time you pull the capture the spirit. But this is what I was going for, but it didn't go exactly as planned. But it was a good run either way. Yeah, the beginning is super simple. I'm trying to block as much as possible. I'm trying to save Osti's health as well, simply because our what's the name, Unleash, I believe, the starter card deals damage or bonus damage, yeah, Unleash, based on the Osti's current HP, not maximum. So yeah, we did pick up Haunt, which was kind of my backup plan at this point, because alright, we have Capture the Spirit, we have 3 guaranteed souls in the deck, which we will definitely play at pretty much all times, and each one of them will deal 6 damage. So not only do we get to draw with the potential for the infinite combo, we also just plainly deal 6 damage every time we play a soul card. And I mean, you can see already here that it's just incredible. I could have probably just not picked up any cards at this point and being fine, but it's good. Yeah, nothing too interesting. Sleight of Flash was something I considered, but because we are going to pick up some debuffs along the way, but the dream was still alive at this point, and yeah, got Hound online, so we kind of have our damage engine already. We don't even need to rely on Osti. At this point, we can use Osti to block, simply because Haunt will do most of the work for us. As long as we can, block a little bit and have enough energy to play the Capture Spirit card, then we're just happy. So with the Bodyguard, it shouldn't be a problem to block most of the damage here. We got a couple of dazes, but again, souls kind of solve that issue. I mean, draws at the moment solve a whole lot of issues with the enemies you might have. Like, I don't know, it's just very good right now, and especially a free draw 2 cards is just a little bit OP, I would say. I mean, based on how easy it is to get. So yeah, nothing exciting in this fight in particular. Yeah, we're capped at 20 damage per turn, so cannot do much more than that. However, once again, we have guaranteed damage even through shields and whatnot. And yeah, Defy and Pull From Below. I absolutely love the Pull From Below card. I had a couple of very successful runs with it, simply because it scales so fast and it can, just win fights on its own. But yeah, this isn't the type of the deck we're building. Having Haunt kind of, locked me in the souls type of archetype. So at this point we're just we've got the puzzle, which gives us even more card draw first time we take damage. So like everything is pointing towards the souls deck, possibly infinite souls deck, but not really. I can already kind of spoil this, but in the end, we almost got there. I think there were a couple of fights where we kind of got there, but the problem was really that we didn't have any exhausts or some heavy card removals. So I had to pivot a little bit, or rather, have additional sources of damage here. But yeah, as you can see, especially on the Ascension one, you can kind of get away with a lot of setup. I don't have any typical heavy hitters for the Necrobinder, like the Dirge, or I cannot remember the other cards, but yeah, still for the elites, I'm kind of getting into the habit of using potions every time. Like, even if it seems like I should be fine, I'll probably use a potion just to be safe. Usually, especially in the higher ascensions, it turns out to be a correct call, because you sometimes get very bad hands, and then you kind of regret not using that strength potion at the beginning and saving it or something. So yeah, I figured, you know what, doesn't matter. We'll use potions most of the time, and we'll be happy. Yeah, I miscalculated a little bit. I should have used the bodyguard and the unleash, but we did stun the enemies, so damage is not that much of a problem. And having a free capture spirit card is definitely strong. I was kind of looking for a way to make it free somehow, but that didn't happen. Defy and the what was the other card? I can't remember. The exhaust card were definitely good pickups, but I didn't want a massive deck. I'm trying to keep things small, but when given a choice of taking 14 damage before elite or taking 2 cards, I go for the 2 cards. I could have skipped the elite technique, but where's the fun in that? We did pick up another Defy, which is good, and yeah, now we have Saw, which is perfect for this fight specifically. So we're good, we're happy. Yeah, we now have potion generation of sorts. And cool thing about the rock potion, or rock shaped potion, or potion shaped rock, is that it doesn't trigger the effects of the hydras here. So it didn't trigger the shield passive, and so we got rid of the first one easily. So yeah, the sequence of actions matters here. Yeah, I used the soul for that specific reason as well, though I would have to double check if the haunt deals health damage or just regular damage, because as you've seen here just a second ago, capture the spirit goes through the shields, because the card reads that it deals, it takes 3 HP rather than deals 3 damage. So that's why you can sometimes sneak through the shields of the enemies. And yeah, we have our waterfall giant, I believe. Simple fight, especially I would say for the Necrobinder, simply because you're usually shielding up anyway. So by this point you will have sources of weakness. or lots of shields, and Osteals also having some health buffs in your deck. So it's like it's not that hard to defeat this enemy. Like if you got to this boss, your deck is probably fine, at least on this particular ascension level. And yeah, I just enjoy dealing free damage with the souls. Most likely not the most optimal play there, or use of energy, but yeah, sometimes it's fine to keep souls in your deck, not using them because you don't really have energy and you wouldn't want to draw into something that something like the D5, for example, which is ethereal, so it will exhaust itself if you don't play it. In that case, you you probably don't want to play soul and accidentally draw into it. But other than that, or if you don't care that you exhausted, it's all good. We also picked up Countdown, and you can see here that the enemy is having Doom on it already, because we apply some of it. But here I was a little bit bamboozled, and that's specifically because of the way how Doom works. It is triggered after enemy's turn, and on that particular turn the enemy was healing. So even though we had enough Doom, enemy healed up past the threshold and they survived. I was a little bit disappointed at that point. And here I'm just having fun, really. Um, you know, we most certainly survived the hit. Either way, I was looking to buff Osti for the full amount, and we almost have it, but not really, so I have to block. Actually, we do. That's because we applied weak. And here, here is where I pick up a little bit of a plan C, I guess, with the hang. The site was something I was looking at because I also had successful run with it. But yeah, um, I decided against it because we use it once and then we kind of have to figure out what we are going to do. And here we pick up for upgrades. We upgrade our key cards. We want to hit a store. And yeah, with the hang, I figured, well, we have a lot of draw. We're not infinite yet. However, with that extra draw, we're going to get hang consistently. And if we get hang consistently, it will quickly scale up and deal a whole lot of damage because every time you use hang, all hangs deal twice more damage every time. So you start with 2x, then 4x, 8x, etc. So it scales fast. So being able to consistently draw it and it's scaling on its own kind of is a great boss killer, or even regular floor fights go down as well. I replaced the strength potion because realistically 2 strength is not going to mean a whole lot. However, 50% damage on the hang might. I mean, it most definitely will. Yeah. Sharp 3, I was looking at. I think I picked it up. I cannot remember now. Nostalgia, also an interesting card. At this point, I'm looking for fun cards. Really, like the run is over as long as I don't make some terrible choices or make the deck too big. That's why Nostalgia is kind of fun, but do I really need it? But at the same time, it does play a card for you for free, so it's also a power. So once you play it, it's out of your deck. It's definitely not necessary in this deck. It's not serving any other purposes than it's just fun. That's it. Here, yeah, AoE against Saw is incredible. I actually overlooked that card for a very long time because I was like, it's 1 mana, deal just 8 damage. Yeah, retain is cool, but like if especially if you look at Ironclad or Silent was there, deal 6 damage twice, or Whirlwind 5 damage per mana spent or whatever. 8 damage doesn't seem like all that much. However, there are not that many options for AoE, specifically on Necrobinder, at least that are very easily accessible. So yeah. And here we finally get to our infinite piece, which is borrowed time. And looking at the replay now, I definitely should have gone for the upgrade on the borrowed time. But there are a couple more rest sites on the way. So on the next one, I remembered, oh yeah, infinite. We should probably go for the energy here. And yeah, that's that's kind of what the infinite deck looks like. You have your borrowed time in there, you have your souls to draw, and hopefully you don't have that many cards, or as many cards as I do, so that you may draw into more souls or capture spirit or borrow time consistently. And if you do, your turn never ends. You gain 2 energy, and you spend 1 energy on capture spirit to generate more souls to draw capture spirit and borrow time, and that's as easy as it gets. Doesn't happen here, unfortunately. The deck is still too big. I could have probably maybe gone for the snap and add some retains to the cards. That way I can keep them in hand, and that way rotate the cards. But still, 16 is a bit too many cards here, I would say, with the amount of draw I have in the deck. If I had another capture spirit, I think that would be fine. Just thinking about this. Yeah. Again, at this point, I should just ignore all card rewards and just head for the win. But of course, we're having fun here, and this is why I went for the elite. Like on the higher ascensions, well, obviously the enemies would be more dangerous, so the fight would be more dangerous. But I would skip elite at this point simply because I don't really need much from the elite. Like, yeah, the relics are cool, but the losing HP is not worth most of the relics I could get, most likely. So if I have a game-winning deck, I would probably just skip the elite and go grab my W here. Yeah, again, used a power potion here, and actually no regrets, because this fight turned out to be a little bit tougher than I anticipated. Again, due to lack of AoE. Like, that's the only thing that I reliably did not have. So we took a bunch of damage for no reason other than my own greed. Luckily, the deck is strong, so no problem. Yeah, so we got the artifact that gives us block every time Ostia attacks, and we have exactly 1 Ostia attack in the deck. So again, this is this is on the topic of how useful the relics from the elites are compared to how dangerous the elites are. In this particular case, sometimes if your deck is lacking, you might want to, risk it all and go for the elite to find that extra bump that you're lacking. But otherwise, why bother? Yeah, and this is where the hang shines. Boss fights, like with our current setup and lack of infinite, it's dangerous. We would have to be very lucky with the draws, otherwise there are chances to lose. But here, we're fine. we are scaling our hang. We're dealing damage. Yeah, we're drawing all the cool stuff. So I was debating, do I need to play borrowed time? I figured, well, just for the block and retreat, I might as well. I don't feel like 6 Doom on ourselves would make that much of a difference in this fight. Because again, all I'm doing is just fishing for the hang, and we got it, we won. We got the Sai again, we also got the, what's his name, the Call of the Void, which is perfect for the ethereal card build. However, we don't really need it, but I did pick up Banshee's Whale, right? Banshee's something. Um, for the AoE that I mentioned that we're lacking. Like, it's a good card. We have Defy or even 2 at this point in the deck. So, it will come online after a couple of draws. And yeah, we picked up extra health here. Potions would have also been good. Probably even better, but again, I felt confident in the deck that I didn't feel like we would need help of the potions here. So, yeah, that's why I went for the health, really. I do like picking up potions here for every fight. They can be so strong. A little bit of calculation, what to play. Do I need to play the countdown or hang or anything else? We finally got our borrowed time, gave us a little bit of energy, and yeah, with the help of that, we got rid of one enemy already. And the other one is going down very soon. Another Hound, very tempting. I pick it up because, well, now that's 6 and 8 damage, right? So that's 14 damage. We take a couple of relics because, yeah, I don't really seek anything in particular from the store. So I was like, well, all right. And here, we just probably go for the draw, free draw on the power. In case we get this power when we're drawing and we need more, that's when we have it. We don't need the energy. We don't need block. Like we're good. We're good. Card draw is fine with us. Oh yeah, haunts are upgraded. So that's 16 damage from the haunts alone. Unfortunately, didn't have enough for the capture spirit, which would enable the haunts, but it is what it is. I should probably block here. I do good. Criticizing my own gameplay as I watch it. But here, yeah, we're good to go. We found borrowed time. We found a couple of souls. We have everything we need. We're just blocking and drawing. That's all we do here. And yeah, we're 22, so 22 on the dot. Doom finishes the fight for us. Fear could be interesting, Wisp as well, but we are not energy starved, not really, so Wisp kind of just takes up space at this point. We did hit the store with no money, so a little bit disappointing, but that was the decision I made. And I, of course, could not resist the temptation of another elite fight. Unceasing Taupe, amazing pickup. If you have some bad luck with the draws, right? Or, we have more energy than cards, like we do right now. Great! Getting Hang online early. And there's more. Good draw, but other than that, yeah, there's another Hound, unfortunately. Checking if the Defy isn't still in the draw pile and still risking. I did see that I have energy potions, so I was like, alright, if I draw it, we're fine. It turned out okay. Actually, it's probably good that we went for it because it saved us a bunch of HP here. Borrowed time, we have Unceasing Top, so even if we run out of energy, not energy, sorry, if we run out of cards, we'll still have something to play. And yeah, the power of Borrowed Time and Unceasing Top helped us block and get rid of most of the enemies here. This is just a win. Gremlin Horn, nothing that we care about at this point. We're hitting a lot of events. Petrified Toad probably has to go. Regal Pillow is alright as well, but I usually have a bunch of potions, and 15 damage doesn't seem all that much. Getting rid of Defend Plus, not something I would want to get rid of, but it's not the worst. And yeah, here we see Dirge, which is probably the correct choice here, but I was kind of getting into the whole hang thing, so I was like, nah, I don't want Dirge now. I'll play with my hang, especially because we're coming up on the boss, and that's where hang really shines. So instead, we can pick up an extra blocking option, which ends up saving us health already. So yeah, that's an incredible card. Deals AoE damage and gives you block. Like there's no downside. Well, I mean, the downside is supposedly that you lose Osti, but just play a card with Summon and you're fine. We have Unleash here in the hand, but since we're not buffing Osti and we didn't pick up Dirge, the Unleash didn't end up as our primary source of damage. Bone Shards again gets us block. Realistically, didn't really need it. We're most likely finishing the fight here with the hang and whatnot, but yeah, this is the last set. Yeah, this is the last set of the Xbox slots, so I just using the Haunt really here to win, and that's it. In the end, it really turned out to be mostly Haunt deck instead of a Hang deck, but still, like, Hang does play a big role in the boss fights, and yeah, this is a terrible draw for me, but what can you do? No setup whatsoever. Luckily, we don't have that many skills, so, and we also have 100 HP, so we're good, we're fine. We get to play all our setup. I place the borrowed time block, and that's it. We're pretty much done with the phase 1 already. Yeah, just a couple of draws and we're happy. There we go. A shame we cannot use the capture spirit on the in between the phases of this enemy, of the best subject, but that's fine. I would have loved to have more souls in the deck at this point, but we play with what we've got. Banshee's Cry is here again. It's cost 2, so we cannot use it just yet. However, if we can find our Defy, which will come in handy simply to decrease the amount of damage we're taking over the duration of this phase, it will also reduce the cost of our Banshee's Cry. So it's all cool. I'm not sure why I didn't play Hank here. Would have probably been a better choice, but here we are. Now, Osti to finish the fight, simply because there's not much we can do during this turn, and we are losing the Defy, which makes me a little bit sad. That's not a card that I wanted to lose, especially because Banshee's Cry is still costing us 2 mana, and there's no other way for us to make it cheaper. So that's one thing we lost here, and yeah, this enemy with the intangible is no joke. This is where the Hang comes in handy. We need to scale it fast, get through the enemy. Luckily on Ascension 1 it's not too crazy, and we deal just in one turn. We play the Hang 3 times and win on the spot. So yeah, that's your Souls Haunt Hang build right there for the Ascension 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.